Okay, guys. Before we start about today's thing, which is the muscle mass, trying to hold on to the muscle mass in the lockdown period. Ivan has joined. I wanted to bring up what we did yesterday, and the kind of feedback I got. Some of the feedback was okay, and one of the guys said, it was too scientific or boring. With preceded by MC and BC and everything else. Abuses. I mean, and and of course, one of my friends also said, you don't cut the kitchen vegetable with a samurai sword, So, which is, she was trying to say it was too scientific, so it is not necessary to be so much graphs and all those things. Okay, the thing I wanted to make you guys understand is, because you guys are doing this thing is purely because you want to understand yourself better in terms of what exercise you do and what happens. Okay, so please understand, when you exercise is physical exercise, which is movement. Yeah, that is movement. Okay, the law of physics comes into play. Somebody's music is on. Can you put the music on?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. The laws of physics come into play, and whenever you do the exercise, the chemical reactions which are taking place in your body because of the exercise and the hormonal changes which are taking place in the body, yeah, and which leads to the biological reaction, which is to do with the getting fitter, stronger. And what we try to do is we try to collate this biological reaction which is happening, which is hopefully for the better. Yeah. And then statistically try to map out, okay, when we do this kind of movement, and if they're eating and resting like this is what happens. Okay. So there are a lot of like you can say science, and at the same time a little bit of statistical math comes into play when we are doing this thing. Okay. So even today we have to do a little bit of the science aspect anyway. Okay. So please don't mind that. I need Madhuri told me don't have to say that I need to share screen. How do I share this much? Okay, not photos, the video. Okay, hold on a sec, guys. Share.
Website.
Yeah.
We should talk here.
Hold on a sec. Bookmark. It's okay, forget it. I just wanted to talk to you guys, one of the ladies, girl, who is 47 kilos. So I'm talking about a world record. So 47 kilos, and she lifted 210 kilos in squat. So 200, so it's 4 times more. Yesterday when we were talking about the super compensation, which is to be able to do more, and also talking about the fitness fatigue theory. So this lady who was 47-year-old Chinese woman, but able to lift so much more. So what what it is that everybody's ability is quite high. What we have to do is slowly try to progress towards this. Okay. Let us start with showing you some of these things. Okay. So yesterday when we said about aesthetics, and I just want to share this thing. Okay. Aesthetics versus the strength. Yeah. So if you see the old sculptures, even if this one, this is Spartacus, by the way. If you can see the waist, which is quite big. Yeah. Waist is big. You can see the backside, but the backside is also big. The thighs are also big. Yeah. And then if you, I want to show you one more. You see this Zeus also, which is big waist. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Zeus, which is big waist, broad lower body. That's what I'm trying to make you understand, guys. Broad lower body, whereas nowadays the men usually go for broad only the upper body. So lower body being broad is important. Okay. Even the normal. This is a normal person. Okay. This being a normal person, if you see the lower body is all muscular. We have to, mainly for the men, I'm just talking about, men also have to understand that we have to emphasize more on the lower body. Yes, sorry, lean back. we have to emphasize a little bit more on the lower body, which is the butt and the legs. Women don't have that problem because they are interested in that. Men are the ones who usually have this issue of not working out on the lower body, because the anabolic response, which is to do with the hormonal response, mainly happens because of the hinge movement from which is the deadlift, and the squat movement. These two movements are the most important ones, not the many of the upper body movements. Okay, they are important, but not the most important ones. Okay? So now we're going to talk about today's topic, which is to do with muscle mass, which means hypertrophy. Hypertrophy means putting on muscle mass. Atrophy means losing. Okay, guys, we'll be sending you all these things, so don't worry, you don't need to write it down, just try to understand. So increasing muscle mass is to do with the hypertrophy, because muscle helps you move, and in the long run leads to a better quality of life, you know. And how to hold on to these things is the most important thing. How to hold on to the muscle mass. Yeah. Now, there are a few ways. Yesterday, Anshu was saying, you know, how much exercise to do. Even she messaged me today also. Okay, I do this. You know, I do these many exercises, these many reps, these many sets, these many times a week. So what is happening? Yeah. So we are going to discuss individually also later on, if you want to. But right now, we're just going to talk about what is happening when you're exercising. Okay. Okay. So I hold on a sec. Okay. So if you see, whenever we exercise, whichever part of the body, let's just say, for example, the bicep curl, if you're talking about, or the squat. So muscle fibers are involved. Okay. So if you can see over here, it says muscle fiber, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and myofibril hypertrophy. I'll just stop for a sec. Okay. So understand this thing. Okay. If it's the bicep, okay, bicep. So we are, I'm just going to show a more detailed picture. So if you see over here, the bicep, here they've taken off the bicep muscle over there. The muscle is with the connective tissues, and inside that there are many other muscle fibers, and taking off one fiber. Okay, taking off only one fiber. Now, let me, Matt, give me the pen. Can you give me the pen? This one. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to understand is, whenever there's a single fiber, say, let's just say, you know, like this, there are a lot of fibers. So these number of fibers is predetermined, which means you're born with it. So some people, if they have more myofibrils, more muscle fibers, they have higher inclination. If they exercise, they can get bigger. Okay. So when you exercise, this muscle fiber, which is a myofibril, breaks. Okay. It breaks purely because, I mean, at the microscopic level, there are like something like this, something like this. So it breaks. And whenever you see, whenever you get injury, what happens to you? If you get a cut in your wrist or anywhere else, what happens to you? You form a scar tissue, which means it gets thicker. That area gets thicker. So this same muscle fiber, the same single one muscle fiber gets thicker. So imagine when you're exercising, the same muscle fiber, those, say, let's just say this one is, let's just say 100. Yeah. But if the same muscle fiber was thicker, same 100 ones, so the girth would be so much more. Same number. Okay. That is called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is that same muscle fiber getting thicker. Okay. So now in that muscle fiber, like just say there are so many myofibrils. You can see there are 4 of them over there. So that is the initial state whereby you can either, and if you see the other 2 ones, which is sarcoplasmic and the myofibril, which says, so what is happening in the sarcoplasmic one is the fact that the fluid around the fiber is increasing. So when a person is doing a lot of repetitions and all those things, a lot of repetitions, and they feel the pump. Oh, you know what, this bicep or the legs is feeling bigger, yeah, and more fuller. That is what is happening. The fluid is getting bigger. So many of the bodybuilders have this thing, which is the fluid retention. Okay, so when they stop exercising, it just goes away faster. The myofibril one, which is this one, yeah, is actually the muscular one, in which the same muscle fiber increases, and sometimes the muscle fiber can split into two, which is hyperplasia, which happens rarely, yeah, but it does happen. Okay, so are we clear on this till now? So some people, like for example, if you see even in our case, I keep telling Nick that he has better cardiovascular ability, irrespective of the fact that he trains or not. Whenever he starts training, great cardiovascular ability. I've told Nexad also, you know, he has great muscular ability, which means for strength. Even Madhuri's brother, you know, because looking at him, you can see that the size of the hips and the legs are bigger. So if the size and the hip and the legs are bigger, so if he can exercise, and if he looks after his nutrition, that is more important, and exercise hard, he will do really, really well. You know, even Nikhil has a greater, like if he decides tomorrow, like just say, for example, he decides that he wants to do Ironman, for example, I'm just saying. So he can do that because naturally his heart muscle and many of the other muscles, which is to do with aerobic, I'm talking about the aerobic glycolysis, he's got better, yeah, compared to the anaerobic one. Nikhil, I'm talking about over here, yeah. And Ishita, Anshu, you also know, even Ivan, who's off screen right now, Ivan also has a great ability for muscular hypertrophy, if he wants to. Ishita is naturally thinner. She will always find it hard to be very, very muscular or athletic, yeah. Whereas Anshu, it is easier if you train hard. I'm just telling you, it's easier for you to be athletic. Body shape, I'm talking about. Body shape wise, you know, like Madhuri has also the body shape, which is more athletic. Yeah. So, so those are the things. So you have those kind of muscle fibers to be able to do the things. Hold on a sec. Okay. Okay. Now look at this one. Okay. So yesterday when we were talking about the strength, this is what happens. If you're doing about 1 to 5 reps, there is increased neuromuscular efficiency, which means the motor units which you are able to generate to work out hard is very, very high. Yeah, but your size doesn't go up, so you will not get big and broad. That you will get slightly, but not as much as a bodybuilder who tries to do the myofibril and the cycloplasmic. So they try to do both most of the time. Okay, so yesterday I was saying we should do maximum of 5 because we want to improve our strength, but not necessarily get really big or at the same time have too much fatigue in us so that we cannot train again. Whenever you do the higher repetition ones, which is the 6 to 8 reps or 9 to 15 reps, when we say like that, that means the fatigue will be higher. At the same time, you would actually require more rest also. Okay, so 8 repetitions or more than that, this is what it leads to. Even if you're going for hypertrophy, we would advise that you go between 6 to 8 reps only. Okay, do you have any questions on that, on this sarcoplasmic or the myofibril one? Or did you understand?
Sunil,
Yes.
when you talk about rep, is it the same thing as set, or is it the number of reps within a set?
Yeah. So number of reps which you do, which is 1 to 5 reps. If you let's just say if you're doing squat and I'm asking you to do 3 to 5 reps, let's just say 3 reps. That is 1 set. Okay.
Okay.
So in a strength training plan, we never cross 15 reps total. We should never cross 15 reps. So of total, which means the 5 is a max. Yeah. So we will and we want to we should do only 3 sets. So understand, when I say 5 reps means you should not be able to do more reps. So the weight is such that if you're able, so let's just say I give you 50 kilos and I say 5 reps and you're able to do 5 reps. But actually, if I say keep continuing, you can do maybe 8 or 10.
Right.
If you're able to 8 or 10, that means the weight was wrong. So you do not get the necessary response. Even for the myofibril or the cycloplasmic one, you have to be able to do only 8 reps. 6 to 8 reps when you do, then you get that response. Otherwise, you do not get that response. So the amount of weight the percentage has to be in that level. Only then it happens. Otherwise, a trainer says, okay, do 8 reps, and you do 8 reps, but actually you could have done 15. So that means the work was not good enough. The set was not good enough. You should not actually count it. When usually what happens is when we are not talking to each other, if I'm not asking you and you're not telling me, yeah, that is when it happens. And then you keep training for months on end, and then you wonder what nothing's changing.
Right.
Do you understand the difference? Okay. So those are the hypertrophy which happens in terms of the muscle fiber, which I was talking about. Now, what happens is most people have, like I was saying, genetic potentials. Okay, genetic potential in the sense of what muscle fiber you already have. Like I was telling Nikhil, like Nikhil is the one who I would say has more type. There are usually 2 types of muscle fibers. This is type 1, they call it, or 2. Or you can call it type A or type B. So what happens is we call it white twitch fiber and red twitch fiber. So if you eat meat, so, many of you do. Ishita doesn't, but she's probably seen it. Red meat looks red in color. Chicken looks white in color, right? So now if you see chicken, when it moves very fast, but then it stops. It cannot move anymore. It cannot keep on going continuously. Like if you look at a goat or a cow, it keeps on moving all the time, slowly, but throughout the day, it can keep on moving. Okay, so the muscle fiber which they have is more dense red in color. Okay, but at the same time, if you ever had pork, or if you look at the pork meat, it is more pinkish. Yeah, so it is a crossover in between the two. Okay, so the type 2, which is the type 1 is aerobic, which is the slow twitch fiber. Type 2 is anaerobic, which is to do with heavy, strong movements, fast movements, speed movements, powerful movements. Okay, but in the type 2 there is A and B. So the one is very, very fast one. The other one, which is the B one, which can go either way. So it can go for the aerobic way, or it can go the anaerobic strength way, depending on how your training is going. So now, showing you this. Okay, so now look at this. So when I was telling you type 1 and type 2A and 2X. Now, if you see the twitch rate in the type 1 is a slow one. Slow, which means that you can stay and you can do it for a very long period of time. So because the resistance to fatigue is quite high, so you can keep on continuing. And that is what you use throughout the day, mainly, which is the aerobic one. Okay, the type 2, which is the fast one. Yeah, some of them, which says resistance fatigue is low, which is average. It can go, if you practice or the way you are training, can go into the aerobic one. It can become more aerobic, yeah, and less anaerobic, which is the. So what we are interested in is when we are talking about hypertrophy, is the type 2, which is the fast one, and trying to make the 2A more into anaerobic rather than more into aerobic. Are we there? Are we understanding this? Do you have any questions regarding this, the fast twitch or the slow twitch? Anybody? Yeah.
Is it just my line, or is it a little blur for everyone?
Blurred.
As in, my connection keeps getting lost, or there's a distortion in the screen. So I don't know whether it's just on my connection or.
Are you guys
okay
for
everyone?
Okay, no, I think Nikhil is. Yeah.
It's probably my connection which is a bit distorting. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so understand this thing. So the type 2 muscle fiber, the fast twitch, is the one we have to work harder on, because the type 1 will stay with you throughout life. It will stay with you because as long as you're aerobic. Aerobic means in the presence of oxygen. So if you are breathing, you will always maintain it. So even at the age of 70 or 80, you can still be able to run half a marathon or a full marathon because you have that muscle fiber. Whereas as you get older, if you see the older people also, they're going closer and closer towards the gravity because they're losing strength. The balance goes away because you're losing the type 2 kind of fiber, which is what you lose as you get older. So if you see kids, or if you see many of the athletes or teenagers, they can move, everything is fast. They recover also fast, the movements are also fast. Whereas as you get older, those are the fibers you start losing. As long as you're working hard on trying to keep those, eventually gravity wins, nature wins, everybody dies. Yeah. So, but as long as you're trying to hold on to those fibers, the type 2 fibers, that is where the strength lies. So we are talking about those kind of fibers. Those are the ones we emphasize on, because aerobic ones, we can continue to do it as long as we are doing something about it. So aerobic exercise, when you do, you can do it actually on a daily basis, even if you're doing it, because the threshold to fatigue is low, and you can continue to do it throughout maybe 6-7 days also, no issues, okay? Because you can recover also faster. But with the anaerobic one, as long as the recovery is not proper, because resistance to, when you get fatigued, you need longer time to recover. And if you do not give that time, and if you start doing it again, if you start stressing it again, then the risk of injury is high. And at the same time, improvements will not happen. But what I see from most of the people is they're not doing the exercise that way anyway. Maybe Ivan did it a little bit. Apart from Ivan, a little bit that too. None of us have done it. The 1 to 5 rep range. I have done it. That is why I do not go very big size, but the numbers go up slowly. Numbers in terms of lifting weight, that goes up gradually. And even Madhuri does. Yeah, even though she looks lean, she does do that. And that is why when you saw that, you didn't see, you were not able to see the video, but this girl who did the 47 kilo squat with 210 kilos. So 47 kilos is not, the girl will not be big, right? So she will be, we will send you the link of that, Madhuri Singh, but she is petite. Yeah. So, and on the shorter and thinner side, but she's able to do that much. That shows the ability of the person to be able to do something like that. Okay, guys, are we kind of clear on the muscle fiber and the hypertrophy, what we spoke about earlier? Yeah. Okay. Now, Nikhil had told me, like, show exercises, show the technique and all those things. So I better show you the exercises which we need to do to be able to do the holding on to the muscle mass. It is always compound movements. Compound movements means any exercise which is of course heavy and hard, as long as it is 2 or more joints, which is involving 2 or more joints. It is not one joint. When you're doing bicep curl, it is only one joint. So you're not, it is an isolation movement. So it's a singular, yeah, it's not a compound movement. So compound movement, which are usually the primary movements, is like when you're squatting, what is happening is you're moving 3 joints, which is the ankle, the knees, and the hip. Yeah, and you're trying to stabilize the upper body. So 3 joints, heavy, lot of stress, you know. Similarly, when you're doing a deadlift, similar thing. When you're doing a chest press, elbow and the shoulder, again a compound movement. Military press, which is over the head, that is also a compound movement. Power clean. So what we're going to do is we'll just do it a little bit. Madhuri is going to do it with the options in the lockdown. So like right now you're in lockdown, and I can't say, okay, do deadlift with the barbell and all those things. It's not possible for many of you, or most of you, you know, if you do not have the barbell at home. Yeah, it is not possible to do that. So we are going to do the, Madhuri is going to do with the backpack and a different kind of weights, which you can actually copy at home and try to do the same. Yeah. And remember, if you're not sure on the technique, talk to me separately and through video and all those things, so we can work on it. And then you go on the amount of weight. Do not go before that, please. Yeah. Aryan is going to do it with the barbell, so you understand what movement we are talking about. At the same time, Madhuri is going to do it with the backpack, the same movement. Okay. That's, can we do this? Yeah, I will tell you the movement, Aryan, and you do the same, okay? Okay, Aryan, Matt, first, I just want the front squat, Aryan. The front squat. The front squat. So the reason we don't say to do the back squat, Aryan, do the front squat. Matt, hold it properly. Don't hold it like that. Yeah, under the, more. Okay. See, always do the front squat first because the back squat is harder on the lower back. So once you're stronger on the front squat, then. So Madhuri is doing the same, holding with a suitcase actually. She's holding a suitcase and doing the same. And Aaron is doing with a barbell. Okay. That's it, guys. Put it down. Now do the same thing as deadlift. Mads, you need the chair.
On the chair?
Yeah. So deadlift, which is Aaron, just do it, please. You guys know the deadlift anyways. Aaron, flat back, chest out, feet closer. Come on, Matt is trying to show you the same thing because when you have a suitcase, it is a longer, bigger one, right? So you are supposed to be able to go down. So that's why she's using 2 chairs to be able to go down. And she's she's working slightly harder because she's also trying to do the back. As the backpack is on her back, that is making sure when she's going down, kind of good morning exercise takes place, and at the same time the deadlift. You can also do like this. That is heavier. What she's doing right now is heavier, okay? Because it's, I think she's got all the, what is that, Mass? Rice? Yes. I think this is rice, Ishita, from the farm, from your farm. Yeah, from your farm. Remember from Lonavala. Okay, so the deadlift and then the chest press, straight away go faster, please. On your floor. You can also do it on the floor. Just do it on the floor. Crush press. So guys, understand one thing. Madhuri is going to do it with the closer hands. Scientifically, it's been proven. Aaron, do it fast, please. Don't wait for your hands closer, okay? Okay, you can also do the same thing on the floor. This is called the crush press. Yeah, limited range of movement. And when Madhuri is doing it, see the elbows stay close to the body. So, so that is also for the chest. Aaron, can you do it with the backpack chest push up, please? Get off. Okay, so can you move faster, Aaron? Okay, okay. Backpack. Okay, so so the chest press, similar to chest press, this is harder than what he was doing. So you have to wear the backpack. Keep the hands close, please. Closer. So the close grip is actually harder than a normal chest press, and because the elbows keeping closer to the body requires more out of the chest, shoulder, and the arms. Yeah, keeping the body straight in line. So this is harder. Because when you're doing it on your toes, what happens is 70% of your body weight plus the backpack weight. That is what Aaron is doing. So Aaron, if Aaron is able to do more than 5, that means the weight is light. Understand that? So if you're trying to do the chest press at home, mimicking the chest press kind of movement, so you have to be able to do only 3 to 5 maximum. Okay, that is the amount of weight you have to put. A military press straight away. Guys, if you have questions regarding this, please let me know, okay? If that is going right or not going right. Aaron, do the military press with that. No, it is not. Go. Yeah.
And what weight can you put in the backpack? Like books?
Backpack is you put books, or you know, if you have the rations or whatever, the rice or the whatever the packet of that. So that is more like, you know, 1 or 2 kilos of rice or the wheat is 2 kilos, you know, for sure. Okay, if you, but if you have a weighing scale at home, you can put that, and then you can control it. Okay, so Madhuri is doing the same with the suitcase. Okay, yeah, doing the same movement with the suitcase. So that is a military press. Now do the power clean. Now power clean, like I said yesterday, is actually the best exercise overall, because it has the highest transference to sporting success. So because okay, I didn't go fast. So it has to be a fast movement. That's it, in 5, and then put it down. And Madhuri is trying to do the same with the backpack. You can see. And now she's trying to do it with the suitcase. Yeah. So flipping over and catching it. Aaron, do the same with the catch, please. The same thing. Come on, let's go. Stand straight. Okay, it starts from below the knee and then fast movement. It has to move fast. Okay, just below the knee and then fast. Okay, put it down. Now put it down, Aaron. So now if you saw all the, right now, all of them are compound movements. Aaron, do the clean and jerk. So now this clean and jerk is the ultimate of the exercises. Okay, clean and jerk, what he's doing right now. So I don't know if you can make out. Okay, go down and go down. Put it down. Put it down. Now the clean and jerk, if you see, when you start, Max, do it, the same one, in a squatting position, and then a power clean comes up fast, and then catch, when you're catching, you're squatting again, and then with a press, with the leg forward, yeah, leg forward, it is a lunging movement, yeah, it is a lunging movement, yes. Yeah, like that. Okay, stop. That is so what you've done is with one clean and press, actually you end up doing 3 squats, 2 jumps, 2 pulls, and 1 press. So only one clean and jerk involves so much more. So it requires a lot of, apart from that, it requires a lot of technique and all. So we're not getting into that right now. But if you can do clean and jerk regularly, so initially, whenever you do the clean and jerk, you have to do it with light weights so that you can get the habit of doing it. And over a period of time, when you get proficiency with it, then you don't need to do anything else except clean and jerk because it does everything. That is why in weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting, that is what is done. Aaron, now do the snatch, please. Snatch. Okay, snatch is also like a clean and jerk, but wider. But the hand, it has to go up straight. Yeah, straight up. So Madhuri is trying to also doing the same. See, from the floor, you have to lift it up straight. You can squat down slightly on the top when you're holding it. Yeah, the way Aaron is doing it. Yes, squatting and then, yes, then straightening. Okay, stop. So that was the snatch. That is the fastest of the movements. And Max, can you show the swing, please? Now, this swing is, remember the hip movements we were talking about? Kettlebell swing, which you can mimic, this is with the backpack. Yes. So it's with the backpack. Yeah. So same thing what Anand is doing with the kettlebell. So you can do it with the backpack. The whole of the posterior region is involved. Yes, that's it. Anand, stop. So it's mainly butt and a hamstring movement. Okay, and the last one is just the loaded carry. Can you just move around? Both of them on your hands, please. Okay, just loaded carry. Just you just have to make sure that at home you walk like your servant or the coolie. The area. Okay, so the loaded carry is to make sure is also a you can call it a walking plank. It's a walking plank. Okay, okay, stopping there. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, so now Matt, can you pass me the thing? Sure. Okay, now we've done most of the movement. Yeah. If you have and if you want to learn how to do it really well, it would be I do it with the kids in the morning sessions, usually on a Monday and Friday. If you can wake up at 6:30, that is, and if Ishita comes sometimes, if you can wake up, feel free to come online and check this out. Okay. So we've shown you the 10 exercises. We will send it to you again. You know, you can check it. But it is initially, it is always good to just practice it, not do it with that amount of weight, which I was saying. Okay, only practice it. Keep on practicing the movement unless it becomes a pathway for you to be able to do it easily. Once you're able to do the movement easily, which is the technique easily, then you start adding weight. If you start getting your ego involved, which happens with most men, is trying to show that you can lift heavier, yeah, that is when the injury takes place, because your technique is not proper and you're trying to push that kind of weight with a bad form. Eventually the bad technique catches up, and either you cannot move the weight or you will have injury. With heavy weights, you cannot go wrong. You need to have a very, very strong body to be able to do it like that, okay, with a heavier weight. Okay, guys, do you have any questions regarding this? See, the backpack is slightly more uneven because you're trying to fill it up. It is not dense kind of material like a dumbbell or a weight. It's not very dense and it's not stable, but it is more functional, because in life you do not get it like that. When you have to walk with your suitcase walking around the airport or anywhere else without a roller, so then it is harder. Yeah, so that is the thing which happens. Okay, so but for hypertrophy, which is to increase the muscle size, muscle fatigue is important. The fatigue in that 6+ reps, which is 6 to 8 reps and higher, where the fatigue takes place, then only the size increases. Otherwise, it does not increase. You can get stronger and be slightly more muscular with lesser number of weight, but with extremely lesser number of reps with extremely high weight. But the technique has to be really, really good to be able to do that. Yeah. Then you stay lean and strong, and you'll not get really big and muscular. Yeah. But the technique has to be really well. What we usually say is you have to get the technique right for about 2 to 3 years and develop a really strong abdominal and back strength before you attempt the strength training protocols, which is of 1 to 5 reps. Usually, that is what we say for most people. But otherwise, if you have a prior history, of course, you can get into it a lot faster. Okay, guys, any questions? Yeah.
What are the benefits of muscle mass? That chemical benefits.
Guys, do you have any questions regarding this? Madhuri has a question regarding something. Anybody? Or you understood everything? Or you understood everything because I'm such a good teacher?
Easier than yesterday.
Sorry, what? This was what?
Session was definitely, today's session
easier.
Was definitely better to, easier to understand as compared to yesterday's.
Because I put those nude pictures?
No, that, and overall also it was just much easier. Yeah, we were talking, there were far less technical talks.
I had a question to ask you.
Yeah.
I basically have a very weak core and even a weak lower back. So I should never attempt these exercises, or are there substitutes?
Oh, you cannot do it at that weight categories. So you have to do those movements anyway, because those are natural movements. If I'm sitting on a chair, standing up, I'm doing a squat. Lifting anything from the floor is a deadlift. So those are natural functional movements. So you have to do them anyway, right? And if you do not do them often, that is where you get a back problem, lifting a light something from the floor and suddenly the back is gone because you're not doing it often or strongly.
I had some excruciating pain some time back doing a deadlift. It was crazy. Unless my form was incorrect or I was lifting more than I could possibly do. I don't know.
So most people, see, I will tell you something. Most people are afraid of deadlift, thinking that you're getting the pain because of the deadlift. Whereas deadlift, if you look at it, Matt, can you just, I'll just show them. So if you look at it, the stress on the back is only on one direction. So deadlift is, you're lifting it up like that. Okay, can you do that with this way? Okay, I'll just talk you through this, okay? Oops, Matt. So see the deadlift, just stand up straight. That's it. It's a natural movement. Okay, so just standing up straight. That's it. Okay. So actually, if you look at it, Matt, just standing straight. So going down, flat back. Just stay over. Just stay there. No, Matt, just stay there. Okay, stay there. Just stay there. Okay, guys, listen. The strain on the back, as long as it's flat, is here. Okay, so there's not much. There's no shear pressure. Come on, put it down, Matt. Now do the squat. Okay, now watch, do the squat, okay? And okay, now let's just stay there, man. Now, as soon as she's put the weight over there, yeah, there's a sheer pressure. Now, the thing is, what is happening? That is, Matt, just stay there, okay? Now, just stay there, don't do the squat. Now, if you think about it, okay, guys, I'm just going to do this. Madhuri's weight is approximately 55, 52, 52. Let's just say it's 50, okay? So if it is 50, let's just say she's not handling the weight. If she's 50, so it is 25 and 25. So a center of mass is somewhere in the middle. So all of us, okay, if my weight is 70, so center of mass is somewhere in near the navel region, okay? So now, Matt, so put the weight down. Okay, put the weight down. Okay. Now, if you're doing a squat, come forward. If she's doing a body weight squat, go down and come up. Okay. Now, when she's doing, so center of mass is stand straight. If the center of mass is here, yeah, 25 and 25, for example. Okay. Now, when she's going down, now the center of mass has actually moved outside because the way the body is, because the bum is over here, the weight has moved right now. So now stand up. So it comes outside to hold on to the outside, the abs and the back has to be strong enough. And when you're doing a squat, stop, man. You are actually doing a squat with 70% of your body weight. So she's moving, at least the stress on the joints and everything else is 70% of her body weight. Now lift that weight. Now this weight is 17 kilos. Now her weight becomes what? 67 kilos. Because, no, just stay there. Now it is 67 kilos, but the 67 kilos, so it was center of mass was over here, which was 25, right? Now because 17 kilos has come up, so center of mass has risen somewhere over here. Okay, her center of mass has risen over here. It's further away from the earth or the gravity. So it is harder to stay here, just standing here. Understand this, okay? So now when she's doing the squat, it is much harder. So which is coming out over here, the center of mass is coming outside the body and then coming up. Yeah. So this position has to be really strong. Now, what is happening with the squat is twofold. Okay. When she's standing, stand straight, already the spine is being stressed downwards. Yeah. Crushing downwards. Okay. Now, when she's going forward, and if she does it with a bad form, curve your back slightly. Yeah, that's it. Now stand up straight. Now put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Now, she turned it from here, but actually, if many people do it from here, the lower back, they don't have the flexibility. Now, what happens is you have like this pressure and then this pressure. So two directional pressure comes in, vertical and kind of middle horizontal also. The shear pressure is what leads to the back problem, much more so in the squat. So many people do the squat and then they attempt the deadlift. And a deadlift should ideally be done only once in, for the older you are, once in 2 weeks. Okay, if you're doing it right, which is because deadlift you can do the heaviest amount of weight. Heaviest amount of weight you can lift is the deadlift, more than the squat. But the amount of stress which goes on the body, it is not just physical. It is also neurological, which is the nerves also get stressed. So nervous fatigue takes place. And people don't realize it. Go do it again, Max. Okay. Okay. So deadlift requires a lot of, the posterior chain is working very, very well. And also the upper body in the upper back. Put it down, relax.
She has immaculate form.
Yeah. So her flexibility is high. Her flexibility is high. So that is why it is easier for her to do the deadlift. But you don't have to do all the way down. You can just go up to the knee. You do not have to. It's called the Romanian one. So you can start the weight not from the floor. You can start the weight from the side, keeping it on a stack. Where as long as your back is flat, you keep it up 6 or 12 inches off the floor, the weight. Okay. Okay, so that was to do with the deadlift. What I would suggest is, over a period of time, if a person can learn power clean very well, power clean involves, it's a combination of a deadlift and a squat, because when you catch the weight and a jump, so it requires much more coordination, but much more benefits also very, very high. Okay, guys, we've demonstrated the exercises a little bit. Do you have any other question? regarding what we spoke today.
When in the workout do you actually, let's say for example, you decide to do the deadlift on a particular day. So ideally you're working out your back on that particular day, right?
It's not deadlift is Nikhil. Deadlift is hamstring, is posterior, hamstring, butt, lower back, upper back, and traps, everything together. And if it is really heavy, then the whole body. I mean, I cannot say which part, is the whole body works. So you have 600 muscle, voluntary and involuntary muscles. So voluntary muscles are which are under your control. There are 600 muscles. So you are working more than 300 when you're involving deadlift or squat, heavy squats. More than 50% is already working. Okay, when you are doing that thing. That is why the stress on the body is tremendous. That is why you're not supposed to do it that often. If you do it the way it's supposed to be done. But if you are initially the way you are right now, understanding initially, then you have to just do the movement. Do not do the with the weight, just do the movement. So what I usually tell people is deadlift is actually quite simple, the easiest to perform, as long as you understand this. See this? So for example, if just keep touching yourself in the thighs. For example, if I'm touching myself in the thighs and you do not lean forward. Do not lean forward. All that you do is try to sit behind, which is on the sofa. I'm trying to sit behind on the sofa and I'm touching myself, sitting behind as much as possible. That's it. Just gone up to the shin and then come up again. That's it. Squeeze my bum. So I'm not going down. I'm not going down. That, as long as if there is daylight between my hands and the body, that means I'm wrong. So as long as I'm touching myself, touching yourself, the bar touches you throughout. You didn't see that with Madhuri, but the bar was touching her throughout. Okay, then it is easier. Then the deadlift is really safe. Okay, leave. Okay. So that was deadlift done well. Ideally should be done throughout life because that is the best thing you can do, and the squat also. Okay, guys, any other question regarding this?
How do you gradually increase your weight? Like suppose, sometimes you're stuck to a comfortable weight and you're just static.
Anshu, just like in life, you are a businesswoman, so is Nikhil, and so many of us. If you're comfortable, you'll never grow. Nothing grows if you're comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable to get. Sorry, what? Unless and until you are uncomfortable, slightly uncomfortable, totally uncomfortable, you will fall apart after a period of time. Stress will be too much and then you will not be able to handle anything. So I'm not asking for totally uncomfortable. Exercise should always be slightly uncomfortable. Otherwise, it's not exercise. Otherwise, you're just moving around, playing around. Okay. So if you are slightly uncomfortable, then you're getting better. If you're not, then you're not. Talking to you, Anshu, about your the thing you said, you are mainly doing aerobic kind of activities. Like for example, if I start doing push-up, for example, I'm just saying, if I do 100 push-ups, 200 squats, and sit-ups, let's just say 200 sit-ups. So that is aerobic for me. Aerobic, because I'm doing it for 20 minutes continuously. If I'm able to do something for more than 3 minutes continuously, it becomes an aerobic form, irrespective of what you're doing. For somebody else, it may be, oh my God, it's too hard, because they cannot do it continuously. So for them, it becomes anaerobic, which is the type 2 muscle fiber. Yeah. Whereas for somebody else who's used to doing it, then it becomes easy, right? So it is individual based. But if you're able to exercise continuously, whatever you're doing, continuous, then it is more aerobic activity. So you are working more on the type 1 muscle fiber, irrespective of what you're doing. And that is why you can do it every day, much more often. So if you're doing, say, yoga, one day, so and then the next day, this kind of activity, the cardio resistance kind of activity, continuous activity, it is easier for you to do. If you do hypertrophy kind of training or the strength kind of training, it is the next day, you should exercise just the movement. For example, I've done heavy squats, 5 rep or whatever. The next day, I should just move around with the movement. So just doing the movement so that my recovery is faster. If I just lie down, if you just lie down and say, oh, I just want to, then the recovery actually slows down. If you move, the same movement, the recovery will be much faster for you. So that is why you can go highs and lows, or and aerobic activity can be done throughout. Yes, guys. Any other question?
So can you just live a life doing just aerobic activity, or does weight training have to be an integral part of it? I mean, let's say, for example, if I just stick to doing yoga and doing cardiovascular exercises, is that sufficient?
Yeah, that's good.
So I don't need to put weights into my...
That is your goal. If that is your goal, perfectly all right. But what I was trying to say is strength, the type 2 muscle fibers, you will lose. You know, when you're standing in life, when you're standing in front of somebody else who's stronger or faster than you or more powerful than you, if ever the situation arises, if you're faster, you should be able to run. Yeah. If you're stronger, you should be able to handle the situation. Yeah. So I'm not saying whenever you are put under a heavy load of strain, you get used to handling the stress. Just because the heavy strain is there, it becomes easier in life when the other situations crop up that you can handle that kind of stress. Once you've been under 100 kilo weight or more than 150 kilo weight, when you're standing under it and you feel that strain, everything else in life becomes easier, because not only you're fully focused to handle that and push it, and understand when things happen in life that you can handle those things also. That is what I feel. Yeah. And exercise is not an option. It is not optional. You brush every day, you exercise every day. You brush, you exercise for 40 minutes every day, irrespective of what you do it. You know, if you are doing yoga or if you are moving around, if you can, if somebody says, oh, I can't exercise, whatever the person is, but the person is able to walk to the damn fridge, that means the person can go for a walk. Maybe the fridge should be put 5 kilometers away.
The Kudva
that was for you. That was for you, Nexat. That was for your family. That was for Nexat's family, because they keep walking to the fridge. That's it.
I walk a lot to the fridge.
As long as you're not taking out something from the fridge.
Nice to do it, huh?
Oh, guys, anybody else has a question right now?
I have a question.
Yeah, Ishita.
How do you know when you're ready to move from doing a low weight and a lot of reps to higher weight and lower reps? How do you decide?
Ishita, yes. So whenever you start exercising, you should, the number of repetitions are higher, not because, usually what happens is you don't know the technique. So that is why the weight needs to be light, so just like a pathway, right? In the jungle, if there's no pathway, if you keep walking the same way all the time, so then you create a pathway. So when you start moving the same way all the time, even if it's to do with the squat, even if the proper technique, over a period of time, the pathway is created. Okay. So once the pathway is created, then it becomes easier to handle more weight. So you have done that also, where you've been able to do 50 kilos of squat and all this thing, which you were not able to do initially, even with 10 kilos. So over a period of time, it happens. But once you get stuck on one place, for example, I'm just saying, if you're not able to do, if you're able to do 50, but 52 is not happening only. Yeah. That means we are going wrong somewhere, which means your recovery is not proper, or you're not eating very well. These are the two most common ones: recovery or not eating well. And that is why you're not able to go up to a slightly higher level. Anyway, the law of diminishing return is there, whereby after a period of time, only a few kgs only will go up. Yeah. Just like Usain Bolt, 100th of a second to create a world record, right? So in the 100 meters. So that is what happens. Because you're closer towards your genetic potential, but you are not. None of us are. Like I was saying yesterday, you're barely scratching the surface of your strength abilities. Okay, guys, anything else? Anshu, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, you can always message me those 10 messages. This. Okay, good, guys. Is that it? Yeah. If you have any questions, please do message. And Nikhil, today you can be nice, maybe.
I'll share my comments later, not now.
Okay, guys. Tomorrow is what's that? That's tomorrow's for senior. Anyway, imbalance. We have one more on, I think, Saturdays about the imbalance, which may be of interest to some of you. Imbalance, muscular imbalance. Okay, Nexat has that, I know for sure. Okay, guys, have a great night. Hope to see you guys tomorrow, some of you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Good night.
you.
Bye. Bye. Good night.
Just stop the recording.
Stop the recording. Hi.